Good morning, traders. So, still using the Bull-Williams theory, and yeah, starting off the weekly, you can see the Bull-Williams alligator is pointing very strongly to the downside, and it's actually twisting even closer to price. In other words, the trend is extremely strong to the downside. And give you an indication of a strong trend, you can see here. In the past, we're above the Bull-Williams, but Bull-Williams was pointing up, but not really that convincing. Then all of a sudden, it points even stronger to the upside, okay, which indicates a strong trend. And this is an extremely strong trend. Right. So, the reason why I want to start off on the weekly is because we are very close to my previous swing low, or my what is now my inside tails. So in other words, those were the support levels, and then we broke through the support level, and what you're always looking for is a retest of the break. So that is what is happening in my opinion now. Even though this is looking to be a piercing pattern, we've still got 2 days to go in the week, and I'd need a close way up here in the midpoint of this candle for me to even consider that this may be a piercing pattern. Okay, so on the daily, let's just have a quick look here. So you can see indecision, indecision, indecision. Okay, so in other words, long tails either side, which is just indicating range bar, range bar, range bar. So that's 3 days of indecision. V reversals are rare, and normally when you do get a V reversal, these green candles are extremely strong. I just want to see if there was one recently. Not really. Okay, so this to me is not looking like a V reversal. This is just looking like a bit of profit taking, the bulls scalping up, and the bears starting to look for positions again. Okay, so that's kind of my view there. If we look at the 4 hour, you can see this has been the first attempt at getting through the alligator. Okay, big concern though is the grouping of the oscillator here. We also need to get across over the alligator, but we have a grouping, and then the second concern is this big flag. Okay, it doesn't matter how I draw it, so I can draw it like that or come onto there. So in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, doesn't really matter, but that is a flag. Okay, now I would like to see this flag come back into this zone here, and then for me that is short. Okay, even though we have broken through the alligator, you have to trade with the trend until this alligator break has been tested. So you stay with the trend is still down, even though we've broken the trend line. If you can see here, we've broken this trend line here, and some could argue it's a break and a retest with this bar, but the reality is this is a consolidation pattern. We have not tested this break. Okay, so this previous tail here has not been tested, and the higher probability trade is going to be a retest there and then a bounce off. It may just sell off with 2 or 3 candles and then turn and break through, but then you know that you've got a confirmation of a trend change. But for now, this is looking a little bit like we have another move coming. And what I do want to do here, I just want to move this. Let's do it there so I can see what's going on, and then just come to the weekly, and I just want to draw this head and shoulders in again, and let's just pick up what that target is. I'm almost willing to bet that that lines up a little bit short. Let's just put a level in there so we can see what's the other side. Okay, we do have some inside tails here, and there, and there, previous highs, previous breakouts there. Okay, so I think for me anyway, this target zone is still in play. Okay, let's get down to some levels that we can trade today. And let's tidy that up ever so slightly. If I run it like that, we have a bit of a channel. And if we run it like that, we have a bit of a wedge. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is that yesterday, there was another wedge, see there, and we've had a break. And look where the oscillator was as well for most of yesterday. Okay, so even though we have broken through the alligator, we've rallied. I think this to me right now is a consolidation pattern, and I'm expecting a little bit more upside, hopefully, where we can get in short. Okay, there is a gap up here, but normally what will happen is we will test the underside, this inside tail first, then we will test the high, and only then will we go for the gap. So there's three resistance levels before, or two resistance levels, sorry. So it's 1, 2, before we get, well actually I lie, 3, because you can take the 200 moving average into it as well, even though they are all in the same area. So you've got quite a bit of resistance sitting here. And that's kind of what I would expect. So what I'm expecting is that this wedge here broke, a small wedge from yesterday broke to the downside. So I would expect a bit of a rally, come and test this break, then come down to test this bottom of the bigger wedge, and a break below that is going to be telling. Okay, but I think for me, the high probability trade at the moment is another short, but preferably from up here at 11.0, say 11.040, or alternatively 1100. So anywhere in the 1100, between 1100 to 1150 is what I'm looking for. Looking to go short with a stop sort of above this tail here, which is going to be 11.0. So I can't even see that. Is it 11.096? Or maybe just round that off to 11.105 or something. Okay. But that's kind of what I can see at the moment. And if I look at the futures market right now, Dax is up ever so slightly, 0.35%. So sitting at 10,965, which is this line here. I think it's pretty much up here. Oh, spot on, 10,965. Okay, so we're kind of flirting with the highs of yesterday at the moment, which is fine. I just want to see a retest of this little wedge from yesterday, and then I'm looking to get in short. Okay, so I'm just coming down to 12 minutes, and the reason for that is that we can just see what's actually happening. Okay, so we do get a gap up. I'm looking for anything up to 1100 area. If we can get up to that 1100 area, then what I'm looking for is sort of a 12 or a 15-minute pattern, like a double top or a inside bar, or something like that, or a pin bar or something, which is going to indicate an opportunity to get short. But either way, this is a 67 points, probably a bit more. Okay, it's 100 point stop loss, which is not too bad if you take a smaller one. And just looking at, so I've just jumped onto the 3 hour quickly, but you can look here, we have a double top on the oscillator, and we have a higher high. So we've got a bit of diversions here as well. Not so prominent on the 4 hour. and not that prominent on it. It's there, but it doesn't stand out on the 1 hour. Anyway, I'm expecting downside, and on a bit of a rally back into this area where I'm short. Only a break above, not so much a break above the previous high, because we could still get another high, but we're going to need to break above 11,090 for me to even think about getting along to the gap close. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. I see this as a consolidation or a flag, and if we do break, so yeah, in other words, getting a short entry at the top here, I'm kind of anticipating a break of this flag, and that break is going to be fairly significant because it will line up the next move to the downside, which is all the way down to 10,047 or 10,050. Okay, and 4 hours also grouped to the upside, yes, on the oscillator. So, yep, that's my view of this at the moment. I'm definitely looking for a short on the Dax, and hopefully a little bit higher than where we are now. I'll wait for the open and see what happens, but definitely looking to get short. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. Hope it helps, and I will catch you guys later. Cheers for now.